Gene Simmons, the legendary bassist and vocalist of KISS, recently took a trip down memory lane at our BSP HQ. One of the most fascinating stories he shared was about the original demo of Van Halen's iconic track, House of Pain. Simmons, who produced the demo, called it a steamroller of a track and couldn't believe it was never officially released.
I discovered, call it what you will, Van Halen a long time ago, brought him into the studio and produced him. And there was one track called House of Pain that's like a steamroller, and they rewrote the song under the name House of Pain, but it doesn't bear resemblance to the original one. So we actually do that. I tell the story about how, when I was in the studio, this thing, watch this, you won't believe it, can't believe Van Halen never had this on a record, but here it is. But you can, by the way, find it on YouTube, House of Pain demo, Gene Simmons. And you won't believe it. It's just a steamroller of a track.
Simmons also revealed how he saw Van Halen's massive potential early on. He tried to convince his bandmates to bring them into the KISS fold, but Paul Stanley and Bill Coyne didn't quite hear the magic. This led to Simmons tearing up their contracts when KISS went back on tour, but he left the door open for future collaborations. The Demon went on to share how Van Halen was unlike any band he'd ever seen. Their energy and talent simply undeniable.
No band I'd ever seen. I went to see a group called The Boys, ends with a Z, Boys, because I was invited to a place called the Starwood. My date that night was B.B. Buell, who was a playmate. She would later have a child with Steven Tyler, Liv Tyler. Huh. But that night, she was with me, and we're upstairs and people are coming over. Hey, man, there's a lot of hey, mans going around. I don't talk like that, actually. And trying to be nice to people, sign an autograph or two, and I started to hear this amazing sound. I thought it was two guitar players playing in harmony with each other. I said, wow, that's an interesting sound. I went to the upstairs, overlooking the stage and it's just one guitar player, one bassist, great drummer, and this singer out front, shirtless, who's doing, athletic stuff on stage nobody had ever done before. I went, what in God's name is that? So by the third song, I was backstage waiting for them to come back. And when they came back, I said, whatever you're about to do, I'm going to change your life. Sign to me, my company, Man of a Thousand Faces Incorporated. I'll fly you to New York. We'll do a demo at Electric Lady Studios where Hendrix and Zeppelin and everybody was. And, their eyes just kind of, what? And we did. And they were, wild-eyed and innocent back then. And it was a real band back then. Of course, fame and money and everything changes things and personalities. I couldn't get the rest of the guys in KISS, Paul and everybody, or the manager, Bill Coyne, to recognize that they were going to be the next big band. And I wanted to take them under our wing, opening up for us. They just didn't hear it.
Wow.
And so I didn't feel ethically right about it. We were going back out on tour, so the band is signed to me. They can't do anything without my approval. So I tore up the contract and I said, you're free if you don't get signed to a label or something. When we come off tour 6 to 8 months from now, we'll try it again. I'll have some more time, but right now I've got to go back out on tour. I did the right thing. Within a month or so, they got on Warner Brothers, and I do remember when we were in the studio saying, let's do a cover of something that you feel comfortable about, because that your first single, you don't really write singles, because of the bombastic nature of what you do. Let's try to find something that has more of a chorus kind of a thing. And the guys didn't want to do that. They want to be authentic to their own thing. But sure enough, the first single was You Really Got Me by the Kinks, and a phenomenal version they did, which was a hit and opened the door.
He even recounted a time when Eddie Van Halen, frustrated with David Lee Roth, expressed interest in joining KISS. Talk about a wild what-if scenario.
In fact, in 1982, it got so bad for the guys that Eddie called me. We were recording an album called Creatures of the Night. And he came down to the studio, and I said, well, let's get out of here. Let's go across the street to a place to grab some coffee or something. And he asked me to join KISS. I can't take Roth anymore. I've got to get out of here. And I think I did the right thing by talking him out of it. Said, no, you've got to rough it out. You can't be on a jet without turbulence. That's just the nature. Even if you get married, you will have some rough spots. Just hang in there. And besides, if Van Halen ever joined KISS, which would never happen, there's no room. He's got so much sound coming out of that guitar. You need to get out of the way and just have bass and drums in back of it, so because he fills it up. Townsend's the same. How would you have another rhythm player with Townsend's chords taking up everything? It would be difficult.
So, there you have it, a rare glimpse into rock and roll history, straight from the source. Stay tuned to our channel for more exclusive interviews and behind-the-scenes content.